Lockup.
marathon. I watch nothing but prison shows, cop shows, detective shows, like the real ones, not fucking fake, CBS, CSI shows. Just the real ones where, things like that, cop shows, cold case files, like all those shows are the best, and Lockup.
Yeah. This one was on some California prison, I believe, over the weekend. And I was thinking to myself, if you take the California prison and you take, the Rikers prison, and then you have some friendly competition.
Oh, friendly.
See which prison is tougher. I told Ed before the show, I'm like, where do these monsters live before they're caught? Because they're the scariest people on earth.
Monsters.
With the tattoos all the way up to their foreheads and holy crap.
Would you be scared if you got in trouble?
Frightening.
Like, say it was for something nonviolent, like there was some kind of, let's say your agent made a tax error and you didn't even do anything criminal.
Oh my God.
And like they said, look, you got to go for a year. It's mandatory.
I would be butt raped as I was signing in.
Yeah, it would be over.
That's the first thing I was thinking. I'm like, how the fuck would I avoid a butt raping?
Yeah.
Shit while you walk constantly. Constantly walking shit like a horse.
Because these guys
something? That wouldn't even help.
No.
There'd be some guy who goes, I like shitty asses.
These guys were monsters, and prison. Take away the crime and how much time they're doing and all that, because that's a different discussion, obviously. But it seems being in prison is just exhausting.
Yeah.
You have to watch your back constantly, and they have the most mundane rules. Like in the real world, these rules people would just laugh at you. Like in prison, if you use someone's chin-up bar, you're going to be killed.
Yeah, and why not?
You're going to be killed if you work out before they allow you to work out. And I'm not even talking about the prison. Now you go out in the yard and it's time for the workout. Now you have to wait for the gang. Whatever gang runs the yard, to tell you it's time to work out. And usually you have to work out in a group. And there's like secret exercises and all this crap. It just seems exhausting.
You just can't be a guy that just wants to do his time, go out, work out a little bit, walk around. You got to be in a gang. You're constantly looking over your shoulder. It's like the gazelle at the waterhole thing.
Yeah.
You're constantly you look around like, it's gonna bite my throat out today.
They're explaining you got to be careful how you look at people.
Yeah,
and everyone knows this, but you're like all of a sudden you look the wrong way. You look up and
like,
oh my God, I'm looking right into this guy's
contact.
eyes. I didn't mean to.
I disrespected him. I'm dead.
Now I gotta make a weapon.
I would walk right over there. I'm telling you guys, it's about staying in shape. I'd walk right over there with my headband on, and I'd get into like an Olivia Newton-John type of workout, where I'd shadow box and lay on my side, lift my one leg, and it'd be really
I would get a step platform with leggings and a headband and pink wristbands and do step.
And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
That's how many dicks are going into you.
I know.
1 and 2 and...
Come on, you sodomites, get up.
I like the guys that go, that old cliche. First thing you got to do, you find the biggest guy in there.
Okay.
You walk up to him and just kick his ass. You punch him in the face.
And then he beats you and rapes you, and everybody sees that you can't fight.
Yes.
I'd find a small man and beat him. Find the oldest guy in a wheelchair and tip it over and say, now what, motherfucker?
Whoever says that just doesn't know what prison's all about.
They'll kill you for that.
Of course they would.
So
you don't walk up to the biggest guy.
Guy, you punch him in the face, you knock him out, and then you fucking, walk away, and that's going to work.
And then you go to prison, you got to join a gang if you weren't in a gang on the outside. And then they interviewed over the weekend a guy, he's a white Crip.
Wow.
Let that sink in a little bit.
No, they were equal opportunity.
You're in prison where there's racism. If you're black, you hang out with your fellow blacks.
Separatist.
If you're white, you know the deal.
Yeah.
Here's a white Crip, and he goes, when the blacks get into it with another group in the prison, I have to fight alongside with the blacks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A white Crip.
A white Crip
In prison, of all places.
That doesn't make any sense.
But that Lockup rules, man. Show rules.
Yeah. All those shows. What the hell is I watching? I was watching another one that comes on after Cops. After I watched about 3 hours straight of Cops.
Yeah.
Which is just, I never get tired of that show because it's just hysterical. And that's equal opportunity also, because you could have fun with the dopey black car thieves, that never fess up to anything, even as they're dragging them out of a stolen car that they just chased. The guy looking up at the camera go, I didn't do nothing, but I didn't do nothing. And then the toothless, mulleted, shirtless, beer in his hand, white trailer park trash that is constantly in an argument with his neighbor, who is also drunk, shirtless, coming out with his wife. There was one where this guy slashed the other guy's tires because he wouldn't drive him somewhere. Meanwhile, they're both hammered fucking drunk. And then the wife comes out and says, get in the house. Come on, get in the house. And the guy's like, I don't care. Take me to jail. Take me to jail. I'm like, you want to go to jail? He's like, I don't care. I'll be out in 10 minutes. They go, nah, it's going to be a little longer than that. Turn around. And then another black guy was in his room, and he's going, shoot me then. Shoot me. I don't care. Take out your 9 and shoot. And it's like, how do these cops not just shoot him? Because he's a big guy. And you're looking on, all right, you know this is going to end with that big struggle and them trying to get his hands behind his back. And it did. And this guy had, like, big arms on him and everything. They got him down. There was, like, 3 or 4 cops it took to get this guy down. But you watch this and just go, oh, my, this is fantastic.
There are men out there.
I love it.
There's a guy I saw at a prison show. It was a black guy, and he used to break handcuffs. Did we talk about that guy?
Oh, shit.
I think we might have mentioned him once, but go ahead.
He did
again, yeah.
Push-ups. No, but I mean, I think you and I off air talked about it. He's the guy who did. He was mentally not. He was not a bright guy, but he was trying to be like pleasant. But he was just a murderous guy. Like they said that you couldn't cuff him because he would literally break cuffs. He was just like, it's like, how do you deal with a man of that ilk?
That's like fucking Kong. Well, it is. It just breaks those are high tensile steel chains. No worry, no worry.
I was gonna say, I mean, the cops. I'm amazed they're not shooting more.
I know,
because when you come upon one of these guys that could break handcuffs, why wouldn't you just like pull out your piece?
Well, that's why a lot of times, they got to kind of beat him into submission there on the ground so they could get the cuffs on him.
But like you said, you need 3 or 4 officers, and sometimes even in that case, it's a tough
3
fight.
or 4 officers. I like the leverage move, too, where they take their nightstick and they jam it under the guy's arm and use it as leverage to pull the guy's arm back.
How do they do that?
Like how they like put it here.
His arm's behind his back,
kind of. His arm's behind his back a little bit, but they got to get
it's like a wedge.
They closer together, and they put it in like where his elbow is.
Between his arm and elbow?
And then the fulcrum would be on his back. And then they just pull that fucker back.
That's why they're shaped like that, right? Yeah.
It's just, wow.
Amazing.
It's fantastic to watch, but man, what a thankless fucking job.
Oh, it sucks.
But this,
you got to touch. I wouldn't want to just touch those people.
This lockup.
Horrible.
And then there's a problem, and then the correction officers have to put on the gear. I'm like, oh, why?
Yeah. And they pull the shield out.
Oh, my God.
But that's problem for cops, though. At least there's 8 of you, and you all have gear on.
Yeah.
Like, that's not as bad. It's like when you're individually, you have to deal with somebody who's got a problem.
Yeah.
But on this show, when you see them put the gear on, you can see it in their eyes like, oh, this isn't going to be fun.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, are you ready? And they're in like a little wedge. They open that cell door and they get, oh, my God.
And then the one guy with the pepper spray and the other guy. It's like, we got to deal. Can't this guy just go to the mess hall in peace?
Stop throwing your shit at everybody.
That's what they do, too. Yeah, they'll piss
and then I just went to bed scared. I'm like, where are these monsters?
Before they're in prison, they're out.
They're out doing their thing. Here's a retired correction officer.
Oh.
Sir, I don't have your name.
Mike.
Hey, Mike, what's up? Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show.
Yeah, I was listening to you talk about, like, if you use equipment, you'll get messed up. No, what it really is, the worst thing is the telephone, because they have slot time. The convicts will have slot time, like the ones that are trying to run the house, and a mate will come in. There won't be no one on the phone. He'll get on the phone, and then he gets cut. And they'll slice him from, like, his ear all the way down to his chin.
Wow.
But if you're a white boy, it's pretty hard on Rikers Island. I mean, I retired in 2004 because the whites are very outnumbered there. So they usually will hang out with the Spanish. But I mean, the raping thing, I never really seen much of that. The only ones that ever
sorry to hear that
got raped were actually homos. That just being paid, you know what I'm saying? But like the raping thing, I never seen it. But as soon as you walked into the housing area, and this is back in like the 80s and the 90s, but as soon as you walked in the housing area, if you were a white boy, they'd surround you. They take your shoes. They take everything. And if you go to the correction officer, then you consider the snitch. Then they'll kill you.
Now, if you have
But why do they allow that to happen? I mean, I don't care. You know, if you got yourself in a prison, whatever. But I'm just, like I said, that's a discussion for, maybe later today or another day. But why do they allow the white boy to just be completely surrounded
like that
and all this stuff taken away?
And it's really hard. I mean, it's really hard. There's usually, like in a dormitory setting, you got 100 inmates on each side and one officer with them. So there's really not, really that much you can do.
Do they at least?
You don't got no stick. You don't got nothing. I mean, now you got pepper spray. Years ago, you didn't even have pepper spray. You just had your fist. And, you start fighting. They had like a body alarm. You press that, and then the squad, it's the guy who suits up and stuff. They would come. But you got 2 minutes.
Hey, do they at least put the white boy in with another white boy, or even that's a hassle where they put you in with a black guy, and obviously in prison, blacks hang out with blacks, whites hang out with whites. That's got to be a nightmare.
Rikers Island is a lot of dormitory settings, and if you got a cell area, there's only one person in the cell area.
It's like college, Opie.
See, because I'm at least thinking, like, all right, if I got my own cell, so if I'm a little scaredy cat, I'll go to my cell. But if you've got a dormitory setting, you can never rest.
You can't do nothing. I remember right before I got out, Mark Gastineau was in the prison I worked in. I was in C-73, and he was playing the MO house. He was all cracked out and stuff. And I knew a friend of mine, who actually got a football sign from him, and he got fired.
Oh, really?
Got fired.
Hey, let me ask you a question. I'm a 41-year-old guy, white guy. I go into Rikers Island for something. Now, I'm not a violent guy. I don't have a fight. What is exactly my process when I walk in? Because you can't walk in all of a sudden after 41 years, try to use my acting skills and pretend that I'm tough. It's not going to What happens?
What you were saying before, like if you just commit your first crime, they got classification now. Years ago, they just threw you in with the rest of them. But now it's like a classification system. So if you're like you haven't been arrested before and it's a nonviolent crime, you won't be with murderers, because what was happening is you would have a guy that just got busted with a pound of pot who has to do 6 months, and they're putting him in with a guy that's doing life. So it got a lot better. They took care of Carrick. Bernard Carrick, he fixed a lot of stuff.
But I mean, if I have to confront that situation, like you're going to have a fight probably at least once. But say by the phones, I got to make a phone call, and I have a fight with a guy. Now, if I fight that guy and get the shit beat out of me, does that what's the process? Okay, let me just say he doesn't have a heart attack in the middle of it, then I win.
Thanks.
But I fight, he beats the shit out of me. Now, is that guy going to beat the shit out of me every day?
No. What they'll do is they'll move you to a different housing area
where another guy can beat the shit out of you.
You can request protective custody. But if you get, like I said, if you just got into a housing area, white guy, 41, never been in jail before, and went to that phone, you're probably getting cut. They're not just beat up.
It's just exhausting.
And
at least in the real world, they would
what?
He's very excited to be on the air.
For nothing.
He's used to being able to talk.
Like the shivs they make are like ice picks because they try to puncture a lung. It's not like they have these big knives. It's mostly small stuff so they could puncture your lung. That's what they go for.
But how about if I said I needed to make a call?
Well, you'd have to pay somebody.
I needed to make a call.
If I said, look, you don't understand, it's important.
You see, you could go to the officer, and the officer will let you use that phone. But then you got to deal with them afterwards. You see, that's what it is. It's very hard for the officer to protect you. He's not there all the time, or she's not there all the time.
Right.
You're highly outnumbered, So, I can get you on the phone. Sure, I'll let you make a phone call, but you got to deal with it afterwards.
Are you protected in protective custody?
You could sign in, but they don't let everybody go in.
But are you protected when you're there, though? Is it pretty safe?
What, Rikers Island?
No, in protective custody.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much, you're with guys that, either, just be afraid or like gang members that don't want to be gang members no more. They got to go into PC because then, the other gang members will try to kill them if they try to get out,
Okay.
Or you can go to the homo house. That's like PC, too.
The homo house.
The homo house.
Hello, welcome.
Yes, PC, it's a plethora of cock.
Welcome to my humble home.
All right, guys, I got to punch out.
Thanks a lot,
Mike.
man.
Very informative. There goes Mike. Let's say hi to Dave in New Hampshire. Dave.
Yeah. Hi. I'm just driving to work in a prison, and you're trying to scare the shit out of me.
Do you work in a prison?
Yeah.
Where do you work? Like, what do you do? You're a guard officer?
No, I take care of the alarms and the video systems.
Oh, so you're just all right. So you're just going in there for a job.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I go in and I spend a lot of time in and out of the yards. I get to look at all the videotapes and things and make copies of them so they could send them to court.
Can I tell you? I watched at your recommendation. Actually, I saw Tyson when I was away. It was on the hotel pay-per-view.
When you were in Atlanta?
It fucking blew me away. It was so.
What about the filming of it, though?
I didn't even mind that.
Did he go over the top of the filming or not?
Maybe a little, but it wasn't as much as I expected. I expected it to be a lot more than that.
Right.
A couple of little tricks I could have done without. But it
when all of a sudden there was 3 or 4 Tysons on the screen talking at the same time, and then he's fading in and out.
Yeah.
The filmmaking. I thought. Sorry, I want your. Sorry.
That's all right. I think
the filmmaking annoyed the piss out of me. I thought the movie itself was amazing because Tyson. We saw Tyson in a way we've never seen him before.
I think it was. I was expecting that, so I was like, I think I expected it to be more than it was.
Right.
He probably did that just because he didn't want it to just seem like a boring interview. I could have done without it, but it didn't bother me. Mm-hmm. But Tyson was it was so fucking good. Mm-hmm. I couldn't believe that just interviewing this guy and the clips where it was moving, but it's talking about prison, and he admitted that he was scared when he was in jail. And he's like, you see things there that you just can't believe one person is doing to another person. And he was talking. I actually now believe that he didn't rape Desiree Washington. I always believed he did it until I saw him.
Wow, really?
Until I saw him go in that wretched, awful. The way he talked about her, I'm like, no one rapes a girl and gets convicted and then just talks about it. He really hates her.
I'm with you, yeah.
I firmly believe he didn't do it.
How he talks about her, you're absolutely right.
I firmly believe he didn't do it now.
What an amazing movie.
Women's groups after you.
Well, you realize that Tyson was...
Too bad. I think he's innocent of that.
Tyson is a smart dude.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are looking at their radios right now going, what? Watch Tyson, the movie, or whatever the fuck the name of the movie is. He comes across very intelligent and knows where he was, where he's been, and where he is today.
Yeah, it was a movie. It was really. It's like you really do see Tyson like you never saw him before. You see him as a regular guy. Like even though he was this furious heavyweight and a feared guy.
What about the close-ups of his face, where it's just all beat up now and kind of scarred and bloated, and
they shadowed
it? Remember the young Tyson that was like a fucking lion in there, man.
They shadowed it where you could see a little bit of his face tattoo, but I think that he did that so when he was talking at times, you would only see the right side of his face, so you would just see him as a man, like just as a guy talking about his life. And it was well shot from the sides. Like he had really weird angles on it.
What did he say about the tattoo again? He had something.
He just wanted a tattoo on his face. He was going to get a bunch of hearts. And he said that his friend said, "Let me find you this." And it's a Maori thing from like there's a movie called Once for Warriors,
right,
in New Zealand, and this is kind of like that type of a Maori. It's a warrior tattoo. Right. And it does. It fits Tyson's face. The guy can consider himself a warrior.
Wow. Sure.
But he was actually very sad at times, and like he got choked up talking about Customato and this guy who saved his life. It was really a fucking great movie, man.
Awesome. The phone's still lit about Lockup. Brandon, Atlanta.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hey, Brandon.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Got a couple quick things for you. Well, I don't know how it is in New York, but in Georgia, there's 2 different types of prison. The first one you go to is a diagnostics and classification prison. That's the dangerous one. Then you get your permanent camp, and that's not so bad except for the COs, the correctional officers. Well, I went into diagnostics. That is the most scariest thing you'll ever do in your life. It's frightening. But the first day I was there, I had a tattoo on my arm that was a stupid fucking Pisces symbol, and it resembled a symbol that the folk gang uses.
Oh, no.
And, because I had a previous drug addiction, like a little mental problem, they classify that as a mental problem. So when you get there, they throw you into a cell block that is specified for people who have mental disorders. So I got stuck in there with all of the complete lunatics on my first day, and a lot of the gang members are also in that area. Well, they see the little symbol, and I wasn't particularly given a choice to join. It was you are going to join, and it was in the shower area. We had double double cells, and once I went down to take the shower, the second day that I was there is when they saw it, and they pretty much they don't give you a choice. You join or you get disabled or whatnot. So I had to join. There's a series of like initiations that you have to do, and you get, of course, the hell beat out of you. And then once they classify you, they send you off to your permanent camp, and it's not so bad except for the CO officers, and they'll drag you out of your bunk by your feet sometimes in the middle of the night for count if you don't wake up. That hurts a little bit, but
I would probably ask that they don't do that. I would say, look, you're disrupting my sleep. I have a bad enough sleep as it is.
Yeah.
You have to put your foot down in jail.
You really do. How long were you in there, Brandon?
2 years.
2 years for what, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't mind at all. It was basically home invasion, but I got it dropped down to just a regular residential burglary. So it's level 30 violent crime is what they consider it in Georgia.
All right, now you're
How were you thinking?
All right, now you're in Ant's wheelhouse.
Yeah, right.
We talk about
Oh.
home invasions all the time on this show. Weren't you worried that the homeowner had a gun?
Well, it wasn't a situation like that. I didn't. We weren't robbing the guy per se because we just wanted to rob somebody. He kind of owed a friend of mine, so drunk and doing crystal meth. So we went over to his house and.
Well, I heard owed us crystal meth.
Crystal meth. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
All right, Brandon. Thank
I'm
you,
shocked.
Sir.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Let's go to Drew in D.C. Drew,
Hey, what's going on, boys?
what's up?
All right, I got busted going to Walter Reed for a medical appointment with a gun on me. I was moving down to my new duty station, and Walter Reed within a eighth of a mile within D.C. limits, and at the time you couldn't have a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So I get busted for a felony and then put into D.C. Central Lockup with a bunch of murderers and tweakers wearing a Hawaiian shirt and khaki pants.
And not quite prison garb.
Yeah, I had to buddy up with the guy that had, savagely beat his girlfriend. Was like the only person I could really talk to.
All right. All right. We've been circling around here, and we got the bit now. Drew just nailed it. I want to hear from the guys out there that ended up in a pretty serious prison and had to buddy up with some horrific animal to save your own life, and you were only in there for whatever, pot or some lower charge. You know what I mean? Here's a guy that had to buddy up with who again, Drew?
The guy that had beat his girlfriend.
Beat his girlfriend. And now you have to be best friends with this guy for your own survival.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You have someone in studio that went through that.
Jimmy Norton.
Spent a night in the lockup.
Stick that chest up.
Yeah,
Up nice and high there, Jimmy.
Spent a night in a joint, and I had to buddy up with a guy, you may know him, Lewis Black.
Yep.
Yes.
We watched each other's backs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
While we were being raped. He watched me get raped. I watched him get raped.
You were in the tombs, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, it sucked.
That is kind of scary, no?
What was scary was I knew we were getting out, but I was like, what
All
if
right,
we have
boys,
to stay?
punching out.
Thanks,
All right,
man.
thanks, sir.
What if we have to stay for the week? I had to shit. That was the worst part of it, and I wanted to smoke.
Dude, I would have shit. I don't care.
I could if I had to, I would have.
I would risk my life to take a shit in front of other people because I can't hold that stuff. I can't hold that in.
I didn't want
after
to.
a while.
There's roaches on the fucking bathroom floors. That was terrible.
You were actually looking at roaches running
They were
around?
all over the place. It was terrible. It smelled in there. It was just
And you
very
had
unpleasant.
to, you didn't shit, though? Or did you?
Nah, I didn't because I
Yeah,
knew
'cause
I had
I-
a feeling I was getting out Friday. We got arrested Thursday night at like 6:30,
Couldn't even imagine.
and then we were out by Friday at like 8. But that we just made it out. I made it Dangerfield about 20 minutes later. My balls were stinking.
Friday, 8 o'clock at night.
PM. Yeah, it was 27 hours.
27 hours in the joint.
And no, it was like 5 o'clock on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I just made a Dangerfield spot that night. I remember. And I went and shit in the Dangerfield bathroom. I had to go so badly.
Could not even imagine having to just shit on an open toilet like that.
And they say, they say the tombs are pretty intense.
Well, there was guys in there. The thing was, you see guys. I don't think guys in that particular area. There were guys there that didn't seem to want to fight a lot. Because you're going to court from there. But
So you kind of want to, you kind of want to stay under control because you are going to see a judge eventually.
Yeah, I mean, we had
That's
the cops.
probably not the best place to start a fight when
No.
you're going in front of a judge.
Luckily, we had the cops loving us too because they all knew what was going on, and they're all O&A fans. So at least we had them. Those guys kind of kept us all in one area, and
Jesus.
we had to mix a little bit though. We went up right before court. They put you in a cell right before you walk in to see the judge. We were there for a few hours, and you're there with convicts, and they were all again low criminal guys. They weren't fucking gang members in it for shootings, but it was fucking frightening, man. It was frightening. Because some guy told me to put toilet paper on my finger and shove it up my ass if I had the shit. He goes, that will help you stop.
Oh, they give you all.
Yeah, I got some prison
pointers.
advice on how not to make a doo-doo.
That's nice.
That is nice. Let's go to Jimmy in Florida. Jimmy.
Yes.
How's it going, guys?
Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Happy birthday, Gene.
Thank you, sweet pie.
So, you were talking before about how the prison system in the U.S. is pretty fucked up. Have you ever watched that show Locked Up Abroad?
I have not seen Lockup. Have you, Ant?
Locked Up Abroad. No, I saw that when it was that one woman that was smuggling weed or something. Said she didn't know.
Oh,
it was
in
a bag.
Indonesia?
Yeah.
La Chapelle, her name was, I think.
You think that would be a bad place to be locked up? Indonesia?
She got 20 years. Luckily, they put you to
Yeah.
death for that. That's death. Horrible.
Oh, amazing.
What do you got on that, Jimmy?
Nothing. Just bringing it up. I'm sorry.
Okay. You know what? No, I'll take a peek on your recommendation.
That was a moment.
That's okay. I'll take a look at that. I'll have a full report. Thanks, Jimmy.
Full
All right, guys.
report.
All right. Here's a Nazi Jew.
What?
Are you a Nazi Jew, it says?
Yeah, you could say that.
You could say that. All right, what do you got?
Look, I was locked up about 20 years ago on a fucking weed charge. I got set up by a buddy of mine. Got sent to state prison in Atlanta, Georgia, actually south of Atlanta there. And had to buddy up with some guys that were in there for murder, had disturbing double life for murder. I think he murdered his girlfriend. But while I was in there, I kind of met, but didn't want to talk to, the Atlanta child murderer, Wayne Williams, the guy that killed all those kids in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't going near that dude, but, I was kind of in the same vicinity. That dude was tiny, man. His wrists were like fucking, you could put my hand, my fingers around his wrists. I don't see how he could have done what they said he did. I mean, I'm sure he
It's
did.
children.
It's still children. I mean, you got the upper hand.
Well, they were also.
No, some of them were like 18 or
Young men,
something.
yeah.
Right.
But he also, he might have drugged them or something. You could put something in someone's drink if you get them to trust you, and then once they're out, you can do what you want.
Drill holes in their
that's
head.
definitely true. But
Put
they
Drano in there.
electrocuted somebody while I was there.
Who
Sorry.
did that?
Jeffrey
Yeah,
Dahmer.
they electrocuted somebody while I was there, and the lights actually do dim, or they did it this one.
Wow, nice.
That's probably
It's crazy, man.
That's probably the boys just fucking with you guys. All right, just flicker the lights a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Fuck.
You know, they're probably
Flick
just
the lights,
fucking with you.
fuck with them. Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer wanted to actually make like zombies. He wanted to make sex zombies
Jesus.
out of his little boy toys that he'd bring home. So he drilled holes in their head with just a power
While they were
drill.
alive.
Yeah, while they were like drugged, but they weren't knocked out drugged. They were just kind of. And he drilled holes in their head, and then like pour like Drano in there and other things to try to
Slow 'em
fuck
down.
their brain up, so he could make them just sex slaves for him. But then it always ended. Well, I guess now I got to kill you and put your head in a pot, and
boil it.
eat your jowls.
He wasn't a good boy.
No,
Jeffrey
very
was
naughty.
a fresh boy.
He was very naughty.
You think he had problems, Jimmy?
That's a guy with fucking major problems.
Major problems?
Major. I heard he was killed in jail. Had nothing to do with his crimes. I heard it was because he cut somebody on a lunch line or something. He did something fucked up to somebody in jail.
Yeah, it wasn't even that.
That's exactly what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
A disrespect thing.
Yeah.
You don't even know you're disrespecting unless you're focused 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You have to have that sharp focus. This leads to Fleece Johnson. Good old Fleece Johnson. Danny brought to the
Fleece
show
Johnson.
about a month ago, and look how it all comes together. You want to meet Fleece Johnson?
Of
Yeah, it sounds like a
course.
made-up name.
This was from a past Lockup show.
When Lockup visited Kentucky State Penitentiary, we met Fleece Johnson, a longtime inmate who practices a very different kind of homosexuality.
Oh, yeah.
We meet Fleece Johnson.
Yeah, this just isn't good.
Talking about homosexuality and eerie music at the same time. This can't be good. This can't be good.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
What is Fleece Johnson into?
of homosexuality.
But we have sexual desires, right? So you got a bunch of men locked up in one place. All of them get hard. All of them's horny. All of them got sexual desires. So what are they going to do? You won't let them have a woman. They going to have each of somebody's gonna have to give us some booty. And it's just that simple.
The most memorable story that Fleece told us was about the place and importance that booty has in a maximum security penitentiary.
Oh,
and he went on about it and on about it.
In his prison, booty was more important than food. Booty, a man's butt. It was more important. I'm serious. It was more booty, having some booty was more important than drinking water, man.
Oh my God!
I like booty.
I like booty.
Booty. I guess
Booty,
booty was a
booty,
little bit of booty. Do you have enough about the booty?
Oh yeah, right.
When you give up the booty, you get all sorts of stuff in the joint there, Danny. Is that what they're saying? This
Fleece
Johnson.
That.
No, I think he was just saying that I think the desire is so, it just overcomes you, and it gets to be to the point where being hungry and eating a sandwich is it's.
Jimmy, would you be booty guy knowing they would just take care of you?
But they're not.
No. What do you
They're
think?
not.
They're
They're
nice
just
to you?
giving you an achy asshole.
So this goes back to how this started. So even if you go, all right, I'm going to be booty guy just because I'm exhausted.
Oh, you're just getting
and
fucked.
I don't like looking over my shoulder anymore. I'm just going to be booty guy.
You're just getting fucked.
They still fuck you up.
Yeah.
Because my luck, I get the one who wanted to kiss, too, after.
Oh.
Like, who'd want to trail spit between our mouths and who'd want to hold my face with his fucking angry, dirty prison hands.
It's like, what do you think? You're getting respect for letting another man put his cock in your ass? You're getting no respect.
So no matter what, it's just exhausting.
You're done.
Just exhausting.
Johnson went on to tell our crew how he used to satisfy his sexual desires, especially during the 1970s and 80s, when he was most active and prison security was more lax.
When I see one, and he looks good to me, when I go see him, I say, you come here. I said, I'm telling you what, I like you, and I want you. And we can do it the easy way or the hard way. So the choice is yours, right? And it was always yes.
Johnson also had a warning for the new generation of inmates. They might be asking for trouble from old-timers.
You know, they got this thing where they sag their pants past their butt. It's a style. They call it some sort of gangster style. You know, it's sexy to us, right? And see, but they weren't prepared for this, right? So you sag your pants in her, man, somebody be up in your butt.
Oh,
wow. So if you wear your pants low slung, the old timer's going to be like, yeah, I like that.
But what is the
It's like
different
showing
kind of
cleavage.
homosexuality he was talking about? He likes to fuck butts. That's pretty gay 101.
Isn't he the one that talked about tossing salad?
No, that was a gay guy.
This is
No, there was a guy that talked about not him licking ass, but somebody else licking his ass.
Yeah, putting grape jelly in it, right?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a gay guy, I think, in an HBO documentary, tossing salad. I
Was
remember
it
that guy.
gay? 'Cause
I
he
believe
said-
so.
Spectro from Michigan writes, this sounds like a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah.
Johnson even let the lockup crew know that when he was in his prime, they wouldn't be safe from his advances either.
Stop.
If y'all had been in her back then in them days, and as much as I like booty, I probably felt one of y'all butts as y'all was walking past me and dares you to say so. I'm not no shame in my game. This is nothing that I'm ashamed to admit. I am what I am. I'm a warrior too, you know, so let that be known. I'm a warrior.
The thing here's the music that they didn't need. All he said is when one of y'all walked by, I'd have grabbed your butt.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he'd have grabbed. I'd feel insulted if he didn't.
Yeah, I'd have giggled and said, "Cut it out, you."
What's the matter? He doesn't like my butt? What's wrong with me? That's what I would have.
Grab my butt? No way, no how.
There's Fleece
Mr.
Johnson.
Grabbing butt hands.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, salad toss guy was. This is the guy. I think this was an HBO show. I think.
Oh, is this Toss Salad guy?
Yeah, it should be.
This guy's great.
First of all, right, if he's a newcomer, right, I want him to suck my ass with jelly. That's what they call toss the salad. That's the slang word, toss the salad. It means sucking my ass, right? With jelly or without jelly. Some people use syrup. I prefer a guy to use jelly, right? I will reach my climate right, I will automatically get hard, right? I will, come automatically if he's sucking my ass for about 10 minutes or longer, right? It's a sensation feeling, and it makes you feel real good. Most all gays do that, you know what I'm saying? Like guys to suck their ass. It's just like a pussy, right? But the only difference is it's not a pussy, right? It's clean, the person's decent, and the person know that that's an asshole, but in mind, he looking at it as a pussy because he's in prison. So, toss my salad, and let him eat me, and we straight. That's it.
That sounds reasonable.
Can we hear that?
He makes it sound reasonable.
See, you didn't need the...
Oh, it's all the ominous eating ass music.
Can we hear that same clip with the Benny Hill music?
No.
Travis, you play the Benny Hill music over there, and let's see if it sounds a little different.
Yeah.
He's spelling Benny Beeni. Don't be Travis.
And don't find the live version.
I know.
Linger longer.
It's called a yakety sax if you can't find it on a Benny.
Oh, that
Oh.
was
I don't know where Eric puts
it's called
things
yakety sax.
Yakety sax.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because
considering-
it's a sax, I guess.
Where's
Tossing
Eric?
salad.
All right,
It's like
all
a
right,
pussy.
Yeah, here we go.
Only it's a sticky asshole.
First of all, right, if he's a newcomer, right, I want him to suck my ass with jelly. What they call toss the salad. That's the slang word, toss the salad. It means sucking my ass, right? With jelly or without jelly. Some people use syrup. I prefer a guy to use jelly, right? I will reach my climate, right? I will automatically get hard, right? I will, come automatically if he's sucking my ass for about 10 minutes or longer, right? It's a sensation feeling, and it makes you feel real good. Most all gays do that. You know what I'm saying? Like guys to suck their ass. It's just like a pussy, right? But the only difference is it's not a pussy, right? It's clean, the person's decent, and the person know that that's an asshole, but in mind, he's looking at it as a pussy because he's in prison. So, toss my salad, let him eat me, and we straight. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. See, it does add a fun little aspect to it.
Stephen S. From Bayshore is first of the week. He writes, "Toss my salad. We straight? Straight? I have to disagree, sir."
There's nothing straight about that.
Yeah.
That guy's little conversation. Ugh.
All right. Off to a good start. So we're going to talk about the Obama beer thing.
Yeah.
And the wrong way, lady. Holy shit. A tragedy in the New York area.
I don't know how that happens.
8 people dead because of a dummy.
New York? They have, oh, okay.
Well, a little north of here, Jimmy. Not too far.
Oh, one happened in
upstate.
Georgia, too. Someone wrong way on the highway. That's what I thought.
What? There was one in Georgia, too?
A big
all
one.
over the place.
Guy going to a family reunion from Queens. That's what I thought.
Ridiculous.
What the fuck? All right, we're going to step aside. Opie and Anthony, and Jim Norton is back from Atlanta.
For a couple hours. I leave at noon, 9.
You're
noon 9?
Noon 9, yes. It's noon somewhere.
You're shooting today, right?
No, I shoot tomorrow, but I have to go up today for fittings and script
Jimmy
and all that stuff.
is shooting a movie.
I know.
And this isn't a one-liner thing.
No, I don't have a huge part, but I got a few. I'm back on Friday, then I go back up next week, I think.
It's big enough that you got a couple weeks ahead of you of filming, and that's cool,
I'll
man.
see what Brendan wants to do. I mean, I'm not sure what stuff he wants to do.
Oh,
so.
really?
Who?
No, it's just Brendan. Whatever. We'll see.
Brendan.
He was in Crash.
Holy shit.